Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. This is my fifth try at this video, something like that. So, the purpose of this channel is I'm treating it more like a journal instead of a YouTube channel, just for myself mostly. Um, yeah, so the name Forever Hodler, I'd like to tell a story to why I came up with this name. So, back when Trump got elected for the US president in 2023, I believe, crypto was on a bull run. Well, that started a bull run. And little 15-year-old me was sick at home, not being able to do anything. I was just watching YouTube, playing games, playing Fortnite probably, and all that. You know, not doing any homework, obviously. But this was a period where, going to school was fun. So I was kind of pissed off. So I was like, you know what? I have to do something. So I don't know why I was into crypto at the time. So I was getting all these crypto recommendations on my YouTube videos, on my YouTube. So I watched hours and hours of crypto content that I had no intention of using, like taking action, and I had no idea what they're talking about. Like all this crypto jargon is the most confusing thing you'll ever experience when you first, get into crypto. So yeah, it was long. So, you know, 15-year-old me learning about blockchains and, real use case scenarios and, liquidity, all that. I had no idea what any of that meant. I had no background in that. My family had no background in that. Mostly, yeah. So I've never really learned about any of that. So I'm watching, I think it was Alex Becker. He's a crypto YouTuber, and he's saying, "Oh, if if this Trump election goes well, if Trump gets elected, crypto's gonna go crazy." So then, all out, I think I had $2,000 in my bank account or something like that. Not too crazy. It was from my basketball refereeing job. Yeah, I refereed, you know, kids basketball games. It was like $20 a game, not bad, but it was only 4 games a week, so I was making 3 or 4 games a week, so $60, $80 a week. I saved that up pretty well, I guess. I wasn't a crazy spender. So 15-year-old me with quite a good amount of money in my bank account, and I'm seeing, you know, I FOMO'd so hard. I FOMO'd so bad into this one coin called XRP. If you don't know what that is, if you don't not really into crypto, I still to this day not really. I don't really know what it's about, what it does. I don't know what most crypto does, to be honest. Watching all those videos, I can't really tell you a lot of the things that I learned because I didn't really learn anything. Most of it was just looking for cryptos to spend my money on. Because I watched Andrew Tate. As cringe as it sounds, I was really into that manosphere stuff. Yeah, it's bad. It was bad, but I'm not saying I wouldn't say Andrew Tate was a terrible influence. I would say he was a pretty good influence. He got me in the gym, exercising, wanting to make money and all that. Obviously it gets to a point though, like locking in. But yeah, so I wanted something to spend my money on. So I put in basically all my money into 4 or 5 coins. I think it was Avalanche, XRP. I don't know the rest, mostly on XRP and like some Bitcoin, Ethereum. And it was around October. I put it in October. And if you look at the chart, if you want to look for yourselves, look if you look at the chart for XRP during October, that's when I put it in, like at the bottom, almost at the bottom. And if you look at the chart, if you do the math, yeah, I made a shitload for that for my age at the time. I wouldn't say it changed my life or anything, but it did mentally change my life. Even if it wasn't the craziest amount of money, I didn't really do much with it. I just saved it all because I had no idea what to do with it. Honestly, I didn't really even tell my parents. But seeing that much just on my little CoinSpot app, on a little app that I could just withdraw, was the craziest high I've ever experienced. I wouldn't say I've been chasing it ever since, but part of me just can't imagine, working a regular retail job or anything like that. It's just, it completely skewed the way I view money for sure. I don't know if it's in a good way or a bad way, but it's like ever since we were young, like Gen Z as a generation, we're in two different worlds. A lot of us are stuck in the past, and then the other part of us are, completely in this new era. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm in the middle, where a lot of so my family are just. I'm from a working class family, I'd say, and my path ever since I was young was to just get a job, get a good career, do a good uni, retire at the age of like 60 or whatever, the normal stuff. But then the other side, the other part of the world, which is the internet, you have, people making millions and millions of dollars through, let's say, even Roblox games, crypto, businesses, all that. And seeing that and being part of that as a kid, well, I don't know, I'm saying I made millions and, I can retire now or whatever, but having felt that, having tasted that instant, like some nuclear dopamine hit over the course of a couple weeks, I felt, obviously as a kid, I felt on top of the world. I thought I was some big shot crypto investor that's gonna make it through just crypto. But after that, there was like a little bear market, I think. I didn't really make much. Most of it was kind of gambling anyway. By the way, this is not financial advice. Just don't do anything I'm saying. It was kind of a dumb decision, but it was a good risk. I did learn a lot about risk management. I did sell at a very good time as well. I sold basically at the peak of XRP, so I'm pretty proud of actually. Um, yeah, selling on while you have profits, like taking profits when you can. It was pretty good lessons to learn because I did lose a lot of money after that. You know, just putting money into random crypto projects that I have no idea what it was about, but I just saw on YouTube like, oh, this is gonna 10x, this is gonna 100x. I was just FOMOing. I tried meme coins as well. That's another story. Didn't go too well for sure, but yeah, I just want to talk about how much that's really affected me in just career wise. Because after seeing that and then trying to work normal jobs, the view is completely different. I mean, Alex Hormozy said on this video, everyone earns an hourly rate. Everyone has how much you earn per hour. Even Warren Buffett as an investor, because he puts in the time to research, all the other um options, and it takes a long time, but obviously he made very good decisions, which is why he makes a shit ton per hour. Same with other big business owners. But, you know, getting to those points, getting to, you know, 7 figures, 8 figures, it's usually not done through the traditional route. So that's what I want to talk about. Is just how different the world is for our generation. Like all this internet stuff. We're the first generation. We're the only generation to grow up in both sides. Growing up with just toys and then suddenly having access to TV, Nintendos, Wii's. That was fun. And we're going to high school, and all we see on our phones are, 16-year-old millionaire, Roblox developer, or like 21 with Lambos, Ferraris, Bugattis, scaling $10 million agencies, SMMA, all that shit. So back to my name, to my YouTube name, Forever Hodler. It's so hodler, hodl, HODL, is it's just saying holding. It's just a spelling mistake for hold. So hold the crypto. So it's just saying, I just want to, honestly, I think it's more of like I have no idea. I'll get back to that in another video. But yeah, that was my 5th rant of the day. See you guys next time.